Welcome back from that radio program, Bracket of Family. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. Well, this is still the live studio of New Day on PTV. And like we told you before we went for that very short break, that we'll be talking about security and how it relates to our own lives and our surroundings. All right, very quickly, we have the head of the Complaint and Response Unit of the Nigerian Police Force, and then he's CSP Shogunle Abayomi. Good morning and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. First of all, for some people who don't really have a clue of what the CRU unit, does, we want you to give us an insight. What is the major reason behind the establishment of the complaint unit?
Good morning to our viewers. Sometimes on the 13th of November, to be precise, 2015, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Solomon Arase, established the Complaint Response Unit of the Nigerian Police Force. And the main reason for this is to enable the police to be closer to the public we serve, and also to make the Nigerian Police Force to be more accountable to the citizens, and also to gain more trust of the general public. And specifically, what do we do at the CRU? We receive complaints from members of the public 247, including public holidays and weekends. And we've deployed different platforms, about 7 of them, through which we take complaints. So you can make a phone call, do a text message, send a BBM message, that's BlackBerry message, send a WhatsApp message, even on the social media as well. And I want to state that the Complaint Response Unit is the first of its kind in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. And I don't know of any other police force in Africa that has deployed the same platform that the Complaint Response Unit has done in interacting with members of the public in real time.
Okay, very quickly, do you also entertain complaints from members of the police force in case of maybe they are in danger, or they are not just happy with one of the policies within the force? Are they also allowed to vent their own complaint?
At the moment, we receive complaints from everybody, human beings, corporate organizations, but basically the complaint must be against a police officer or a particular police action. So we receive complaints from everybody.
Okay.
All right, you've talked about being a unit meant to respond as swift as possible. We normally hear complaints most times when the police is being called for immediate action. At times you hear them say no fuel in the vehicle, or there's no vehicle on ground to actually respond to. What has been put in place to ensure that when you get these complaints, you could actually respond as swift as possible to whatever alert you've gotten?
To the best of my knowledge, we've not seen such complaints coming up at the CRU. Yes, in the past, we used to, I'm talking of even maybe during my early days in the force, like some 20 years ago, then probably up to maybe some 10 years ago, where you will call police station and the police will tell you probably no patrol vehicle, no fuel. Of course, these were facts then, but a lot has happened now, and on a daily basis we receive reports of police actually responding to distress call. So I'm not sure if that is happening any longer. However, if there is any reason for anybody to believe that he or she has not been happy with the way he or she has been treated by any police unit, feel free. That's why we have the Complaint Response Unit. Make your complaint, and we're going to look into it. And let me also state that the Complaint Response Unit at the moment is serving, or is filling the gap for the lack of national emergency call center. We don't have one for now in Nigeria. What we have is various state governments deploying different numbers. So for instance, somebody in Lagos State, the number deployed by Lagos State government is different from that deployed by, say, Kaduna State government, is different from that deployed by, say, Anambra State government. So the question is, what happens if somebody who lives in Anambra goes to Lagos and is in distress? The only number he's having is that of the state where he resides. If he calls that number, of course, he will be told, oh, sorry, that doesn't fall within our state. Before he looks for the number for Lagos State, a lot of things has happened. Or what happens when somebody is in transit and something is happening? He doesn't know. He probably doesn't know who to call because we have multiple numbers. The CRU is filling in that gap. We have provided single means of contacting the unit. So wherever you are in the country, you can call those numbers or even send a text message. In the advanced world, the police will always discourage people from using any other means other than the traditional 911 calls to make distress call. But in CRU, we take distress calls even through the social media. And once we get the distress call, we have contact with all the police control rooms across the nation, and immediately we pass such information to them and they look into it.
Okay, very quickly, since its establishment some couple of months ago, what will you say is the major complaint that you've received so far, and how swiftly were you able to respond?
One thing we try as much as possible to do at the CRU is to resolve, our target is to resolve complaints within 24 hours.
Okay.
But we've seen some complaints going beyond that 24 hours time frame we've given ourselves. The CRU has released 3 different reports since inception, and these reports are available on the police website, www.npf.gov.ng. The first report being the one for the first 30 days, which covered the period between November 13th and December 13th, 2015. And we also released the first 100 days reports, which we did sometimes towards the ending of February this year. And most recent one is the 2016 first quarter report, and which was released in this month of April. Coming to answer your question, based on the last report we've seen, the category with the highest number of reports is excessive use of force by police officers. You know, the 2016 first quarter report, we recorded, or we received and processed a total of 1,054 cases, and we have different categories. Excessive use of force, which is 313. Sorry, point of correction, professional misconduct. Professional misconduct has the highest number with 396, followed by excessive use of force with 313, followed by demanding money for bail with 178. Then comes incivility to members of the public with 53. Benefits and entitlements related cases from retired police officers, from next of kin of deceased police officers, that's 49. Then we also have traffic related, which is 36, and we have police involvement in civil matters, which is 22, death in person, which is 7. Then we also received 21 distress calls from across the nation.
All right. Based on these statistics, good to know you're beginning to have your database in check. I'm looking at the fact that for this unit now, were there any specific trainings given And what's the workforce of people in this unit? Because the truth is, we feel for this kind of unit, it requires a very special form of training and reorientation to know how you're supposed to respond and what it involves. Was there any form of training, and was the workforce doing this specific job?
Officers deployed to the units have received specialized international training before deployment. And then let me start by stating that all the agents in CRU were carefully selected from across the Federation. These are police officers with proven track records. These are police officers without any disciplinary measures since they have enlisted in the police force, and these are police officers whose integrity are not in doubt. So the officers were carefully selected, and before deployment we had a special training which meets international standard for officers that are performing similar duties across the world, and this was carried out in collaboration with UK DFID in Nigeria, and we've also had training support from the Office of the Vice President in collaboration with the Monk Institute of Global Affairs in Canada. And we still have several training programs lined up for officers in these units, because as I've said, this is a duty that needs all sense of professionalism to enable the purpose for which the unit has been established to be achieved.
Okay, very quickly, you talked about receiving complaints, that is related to bail conditions and officers asking for money. This has been the trend, despite the fact that we've heard repeatedly where the Inspector General of Police will tell us that bail in all of the formations and stations of the Nigerian Police Force should be free. But we still see some of the officers go beyond the bounds and go ahead and demand for money. And once this money are not being paid, people are not being released from custody. And I think the law says you should not hold somebody that you've not tried in less than 24 hours or more than 24 hours. But we see this breach every time, coming to the fore. What is this unit going to do to ensure that Nigerians actually enjoy their fundamental human rights?
The slogan or the motto of the complaint response unit is no to impunity. And this slogan was carefully crafted based on the fact that we've had a lot of things gone wrong in the past in different sectors in the country, not just only the police or the security. Almost all the sectors, we've seen a lot of things had gone wrong in the past, people getting away with certain things which they shouldn't. And the Nigerian police force is taking the lead, and I wish and hope every other sector follows the footsteps of the Nigerian police force in saying no to impunity. That is, everyone should be made to account for his or her actions. And that is what we are doing in CRU. And so far, in this report, it is contained 20 police officers have been sanctioned after diligent investigations into the complaint made against them. Part of these 20 officers includes one assistant commissioner of police. So the CRU is not just taking reports regarding the junior ranks. As a matter of fact, every police officer, you can make a report and necessary action will be done. Coming back to the issue of bail, yes, the police, we've said it times without number, based on the fact that there are evidence that some few police officers are misusing their office and demanding money for bail. And we've said it several times that bail is free. And now we have gone further by placing the CRU poster in every police station in Nigeria. All police stations in Nigeria, both divisional police headquarters, market police posts, village police posts, and all buildings where we have police citizen contact. We have the CRU poster, which is the size of a calendar. It is waterproof, it is laminated, it has, this poster has the different platforms through which, details of the platforms through which you can contact the CRU. And two of the 4 pictures on this poster, 2 are dedicated to this issue of bail, that bail is free, and even a woman, a female, is entitled to stand as surety, can take somebody on bail in police station. And it is reading there that if you have any complaint regarding your contact with any of our officers, please contact the CRU 24/7. Now we have provided the phone numbers which you can call. We've provided the phone number which you can send a text message in case you don't have credit. We've provided a phone number which you can send a WhatsApp message. We've provided the Twitter handle, the Facebook page, the BlackBerry Messenger pin, email addresses that you can complain. And people have actually been complaining, just like I stated, that in these reports, in the first quarter, cases of demanding money for bail is 178, and some officers have actually been sanctioned regarding this bill, demanding money for bail, where we were able to gather evidence that such did occur. So what I would just add is that, yes, we've said it. Now we've also provided the details in all police stations. If anybody is telling you to pay money for bail, report to the CRU. We have the contact in all stations. But let me also add again that some of these reports comes up because family members, they have taken the services of lawyers, they have taken legal representatives, and in most cases we have seen, I was on the field before coming to Force Headquarters, we've seen cases where the lawyers you have taken will tell you to bring money he wants to give police, but at the end of the day the lawyer don't even give the money to any police, he takes it. We have seen cases where people meet community leaders to help them to take bail of somebody who is detained in the police station, and we've seen such community leaders demanding for money that he wants to give police, which don't even get to the police. So people we are saying it again, that bail is free. If anybody tells you to bring money at the police station, we have CRU contact details in every police station. Get in touch with us and action will be taken. All right,
I'd like to, away from the CRU now, looking at the current trend right now as regards herdsmen and their attack on peaceful Nigerians. What is the Nigerian police looking at in order to curb this menace that is arising? Because this was the same trend Boko Haram took before it became blown. And at the same time, do you think the Nigerian police is equipped enough to face this new challenge?
Well, these are two different challenges.
Or maybe let me also add up and say, were you privy to any complaint coming from Enugu State as to the advancements made earlier on by this herdsmen? Because I know there was an initial advancement before the pronouncement that they were going to attack and all that. Were you privy to any of this information that the herdsmen were going to attack that community in Enugu State?
When you are saying me, we are referring to the complaint.
Yeah, the CRU,
unit,
yes,
the CRU.
yes.
And I've said that the CRU will only take complaints regarding police professional misconduct, and in addition to that, we take distress call. there is nothing to the best of my knowledge to suggest that. And regarding what the Nigerian Police Force is doing, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Solomon Arase, was in Enugu State yesterday. He visited the scene where he met with different stakeholders, and appropriate response and appropriate actions are being fashioned out by the relevant authorities in the police force, and the force public relations officer will be making that known when the time comes.
Okay, very quickly also, you talked about placing some of your banners in your formations, police stations, and police posts across the country. Now, I would like to know, do you think that's actually enough, to get Nigerians sensitized? Because the vast majority of Nigerians don't, have maybe anything to do, so to speak, with any of the police stations. I am of the opinion that, don't you think you can go further than that in ensuring that Nigerians have some of these ideas? Sometimes you see Nigerians driving, and then the traffic warden will just come, bust into your car and tell you that he didn't pass you and you passed, and meanwhile he passed you by error and all of that, just bust into your car. These are some of the complaints that Nigerians will actually want to pass across. So do you think the level of sensitization is actually enough?
Nothing is ever enough. Nothing is ever enough, and in the report we've stated part of our challenges has to do with the inability of the CRU to reach people at the grassroots, to reach people in the villages, considering the fact that most of the complaints we have received are coming from the bigger cities and the urban areas. And let me thank your station, People's TV, for this opportunity given to us, and I believe this is one of the means of reaching out to people to also be aware, and we'll continue to try our best to reach as many people as possible. As I've stated, this is a new unit coming for the very first time, and it's going to take some time to get across to everybody irrespective of their location. And one other thing again that has been hindering this has to do with the high level of illiteracy in Nigeria. It's a fact. There are figures that shows that we have a high level of illiteracy in Nigeria, that is, people that cannot read or write in English. So we have the CRU posters in all police stations, even the village posts, with messages in English, and there are instances where people in those areas have seen these posters, but they don't know what it's talking about because they cannot read what is there. So what we're planning to do now is to translate the CRU posters and information leaflets into different local languages so that it can be easy for people to be able to reach such. And we also plan to collaborate with head of traditional institutions, community leaders, religious leaders, to also help us in disseminating the same information to their subjects and members of the public. And I also wish and look forward to other stations, just like you are doing, to also help, not necessarily inviting the CRU to your platform, but if a complaint comes during any of your program, you can always let them know that, oh, this is where you can report to, this is how you can report. And I also want to state this, that media houses should take dissemination of such information as corporate social responsibilities. It's not everything that is advertisements, because the services we are providing, we are not selling a product. So probably media houses shouldn't take that disseminating information about CRU, shouldn't see it as an advertisement. Rather, they should see it as corporate social responsibilities, which they should do to their viewers. And I believe if we all do this, then a lot of people will get to hear and know about this within a short period of time.
Okay,
All right.
Tony, your last question.
I would like to take you to recently we knew that the Nigerian Police Force trying to recruit 10,000 new member of officers, but now we've got we know that in less than how many weeks of its opening the portal, they had as much as 150,000 people apply
700,000
right now. Okay, so how do you intend to get a get the best out of the 700,000? You need just 10,000. What's going to give the Nigerians this guarantee that there is not going to be any, creepy way of getting selecting the 10,000? Is it going to be
and all of that
based on the first 10,000 people that actually have applied, or is it going to be based on recommendations from the high and mighty? How sincere is the Nigerian police going to be, and what measures of background checks are they going to ensure they take as regards we know the Boko Haram factor, to ensure that some criminal-minded people do not sneak into the Nigerian police?
The Nigerian police force is having a long-standing experience when it comes to issue of recruitment, and we've been recruiting people into the Nigerian police force even before Nigeria gained independence in 1960, and up till now we've not seen or heard some of the issues we've seen that happened in other agencies when they do their recruitment. And then let me state that that experience we've had over the years in the Nigerian police force would be putting into practice in this current issue. And allaying the fears from what you've stated, not so long Mr. President had a meeting with the leadership of the Nigerian police force headed by the IGP, the Police Service Commission headed by the chairman of the commission, and representatives from the relevant ministries and agencies. And Mr. President has given the guidelines on what and how the government wants this recruitment exercise to take place, and that is being adhered to. And part of the design for this recruitment, we're going to see that it's taking place online. The first step, you do your registration online, and the portal has been designed in such a way that if you don't meet the basic requirements like the age, the educational qualification, and so on, the system automatically sorts you out. If the age ceiling for a particular category, for instance the cadet assistant superintendent, 23 to 28, if somebody who is 29 or 30 years has applied, of course that person is knocked down automatically by the system. Once that stage is completed, a committee has been put in place, which includes Nigerian Police Force, Police Service Commission, Federal Character Commission, Ministry of Interior, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and other relevant agencies to be part of this recruitment process. And part of the things that will be deployed for this recruitment also include polygraph machines to detect if what you are saying is accurate or not. And issue of background check, of course, the team involved would go to the grassroots to know certain things about you from your neighbors, from head of your community, and so on. So based on what we have on ground, I'm optimistic that all these fears
will be put to rest.
Will be put to
I
rest.
just have a
All right.
question.
No,
before you-
we don't have time. We don't have time. Maybe we'll have to reschedule another day for you
So,
to
yeah,
come
because there's
back.
some
But sincerely,
questions he needs to answer.
from all you've actually said, we can rightly see and say without fear that the Nigerian police force is actually being repositioned for effective security of our territory. We want to appreciate you for finding our time to make it down to our studio today. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you once again for the opportunity.
All right, this is how much time will permit us on the interview segment of New Day on PTV. And when we come back after this break, we'll be talking sports. Please stay with us.